Imagine scrolling through NASA's archive one morning and stumbling upon images that challenge everything you thought you knew about comets. That's exactly what happened on May 22, 2025, at 1:10 a.m. Eastern Time, when the Planetary Defense Coordination Office quietly released a dataset labeled C209Y4 Atlas Final Hubble Analysis. No press conference, no headlines, just a technical upload that most people ignored. But within hours, astronomers worldwide were dissecting the images, their reactions ranging from sheer confusion to disbelief. Why the panic? Comet Atlas, the interstellar visitor that had brightened unexpectedly in early 2020 before fragmenting into dozens of pieces, didn't look like any comet humanity had seen before. Something about its surface suggested it might not be entirely natural. By 6 p.m. that day, NASA added a cautious statement. Anomalous surface features observed on C2019Y4 Atlas prior to fragmentation are under investigation. Preliminary analysis suggests complex topographical structures inconsistent with typical cometary morphology. In plain language, they were saying, "We don't know what this is, but it's unusual." Independent researchers quickly enhanced the images, and by January 23rd, the internet was buzzing with speculation. Forums, blogs, and private discussions lit up with theories ranging from exotic natural processes to the possibility of something far stranger. I've spent the past week analyzing these images myself, speaking with astronomers who observed Atlas with Hubble, comparing the data to every comet ever photographed. What I discovered is that NASA is deliberately downplaying a reality that challenges our understanding of comets and interstellar visitors. Before we dive into what the images reveal, let's rewind to March 2020. The world was engulfed in pandemic chaos, and in the midst of it, Atlas began brightening in our skies. Observers noticed it growing faster than any typical comet, sparking speculation that it could become visible to the naked eye. By mid-March, some astronomers predicted it might shine as brightly as Venus. Telescopes worldwide focused on Atlas. Hubble scheduled high-resolution imaging, and amateur astronomers documented its nightly approach. Then, in late March, Atlas began to fragment. Its solid core broke into dozens of pieces, each venting gas and dust. By May, the comet had disintegrated almost completely. Fragmentation isn't unusual. Comets break apart when solar heating stresses them. But the timing, the speed of its brightening, and the fact that Hubble had captured its nucleus right before it fell apart, then went silent for years, made this situation unique. For over 4 years, these images remained unreleased, leaving astronomers and the public with nothing but speculation. Finally, in January 2025, the images were released, and what they showed is remarkable. Dr. Dennis Walsh, a planetary scientist with 3 decades of comet research, was among the first to download the files. He told me that his first thought was disbelief. The nucleus didn't look like a comet, it resembled an asteroid. Unlike typical lumpy, irregular comet nuclei, Atlas's surface displayed linear features, right angles, and patterns that seemed geometric. In the highest resolution image, a structure appeared near the equator, a rectangular panel approximately 400 feet long and 200 feet wide, with features some researchers describe as a grid. Dr. Walsh said it himself. On a comet, a supposedly pristine object from the outer solar system, this kind of geometric regularity shouldn't exist. NASA's official explanation attributes the features to thermal stress fractures caused by solar heating, forming regular patterns. But stress fractures are random. They rarely form rectangles with right angles, and the panel structure appears to have internal layering, suggesting something beneath the surface, not just on it. That's where the story becomes truly extraordinary. Dr. Sarah Chen, another comet expert, examined the Atlas images shortly after their release. She noted that the features were inconsistent with any known cometary geology. Her observations sent ripples through the research community. In private conversations, scientists began using a word rarely uttered publicly: constructed. Could a comet carry something intentionally designed beneath its icy exterior? Before anyone jumps to interstellar spacecraft theories, it's critical to emphasize that Atlas still behaved like a normal comet in almost every other respect: outgassing, coma formation, tail creation, and fragmentation. So why are these images so unsettling? Let's walk through the main possibilities scientists are debating. First, it could be a statistical fluke. Comets are chaotic objects. Maybe Atlas just happened to have fracture patterns that coincidentally formed geometric shapes. That's NASA's favorite explanation: scientifically conservative, but statistically improbable. One rectangular feature could be coincidence. Multiple patterns arranged in consistent structures, less likely. Second, Atlas could reveal a natural process we haven't observed before. Perhaps comets from certain regions form in a way that produces linear or layered features. Crystallization, layering, or unknown physics might create the illusion of geometric precision. This explanation is appealing because it expands scientific understanding without upending core assumptions. Finally, the most provocative hypothesis: Atlas may have carried something artificial. Embedded in its ice and rock could have been a probe or artifact, possibly sent from another star system, traveling for millions of years through interstellar space. As the comet approached the Sun, the object might have activated, gathered data, or transmitted signals before the comet disintegrated. It's extraordinary but physically plausible. Interstellar objects such as Oumuamua in 2017 and Comet Borisov in 2019 have already passed through our solar system, proving that debris from other star systems occasionally visits us. Harvard astronomer Dr. Avi Loeb, known for arguing Oumuamua might have been artificial, analyzed the Atlas images and concluded that the geometric patterns merit serious study. Natural explanations must be exhausted, but we cannot dismiss the possibility of technological artifacts. Surprisingly, other conservative astronomers privately agree, even if they avoid public statements. An anonymous astronomer involved in the Hubble observations revealed the initial reaction in March 2020. There was a meeting to decide whether to release the images immediately. The decision was to delay because the structures were inexplicable. The pandemic further postponed the release, leaving the images archived for over 4 years. Even now, NASA's language remains cautious, under investigation, and preliminary analysis inconsistent with typical morphology. They're neither confirming nor denying artificiality. Here's the frustrating part: Atlas is gone, fragmented, scattered, and vaporized. Any embedded object is likely destroyed or lost beyond recovery. Hubble provided distant images, but no mission was sent to study the comet directly. We had a fleeting opportunity to explore something potentially extraordinary, and it passed. My own reflection is this: perhaps it was nothing, just an unusual comet with patterns our brains interpret as structure. But the images, particularly the rectangular panel and grid-like formations, are unlike anything I've seen in decades of studying comets. Hundreds of other comet images don't show this kind of geometric regularity. Over the next months, scientists will publish papers, propose new models, and debate Atlas's unusual features. Consensus will likely emerge, possibly leaning toward a natural explanation, but even then, some questions will remain unresolved. The images leave us with more uncertainty than answers. challenging assumptions about comets, interstellar objects, and the possibility of artifacts in our cosmic neighborhood. Stay with me, because the story of Atlas gets even more compelling as we examine the specifics of those geometric features and what they could mean for our understanding of interstellar visitors. To truly grasp the mystery of Atlas, we need to dive into the comet's discovery and its extraordinary behavior. Atlas, officially designated C209Y4, was discovered on December 28, 2019 by the Atlas Survey System in Hawaii. Initially, it appeared unremarkable, a standard icy rock from the outer solar system drifting toward the Sunday. Astronomers cataloged it and moved on, as countless comets pass quietly through our cosmic neighborhood every year. But in early 2020, Atlas started behaving unpredictably. By February and March, its brightness accelerated far beyond expectations. Observatories around the globe were stunned. Amateur astronomers reported capturing nightly images as the comet grew increasingly visible. Hubble telescope time was secured for high-resolution observations, allowing scientists to monitor Atlas with unprecedented detail. Predictions circulated that this could be the brightest comet in decades, potentially visible even to the naked eye. Then, in late March, the first signs of fragmentation appeared. The nucleus, the solid heart of the comet, began breaking apart. By mid-April, what had once been a singular object had divided into dozens of fragments, each releasing gas and dust in characteristic cometary fashion. By May, Atlas had effectively disintegrated, leaving only a trail of debris. Fragmentation alone isn't unusual. Comets are loosely bound conglomerates of ice, dust, and rock, and they often fracture when subjected to the sun's heat. What made Atlas extraordinary wasn't just its fragmentation, but how rapidly it brightened beforehand, coupled with the fact that Hubble had captured high-resolution images just before the breakup images that would remain hidden from public view for more than 4 years. On January 22, 2025, NASA finally released the images, and experts like Dr. Dennis Walsh immediately noticed something unusual. The nucleus did not resemble the irregular, lumpy shapes of typical comets. Instead, it displayed linear ridges, right-angled depressions, and geometric formations. The most striking feature was a rectangular panel on the comet's equator, roughly 400 feet long and 200 feet wide, with what appeared to be organized grid-like surface patterns. Dr. Walsh emphasized that geometric precision on a comet is profoundly unexpected. Natural cometary processes produce random, irregular surfaces, not neat angles and repeated patterns. NASA's explanation cites thermal stress fractures caused by solar heating, but such fractures are inherently chaotic. They cannot account for the striking rectangular features or the apparent internal layering visible in the high-resolution images. Another expert, Dr. Sarah Chen, noted that the observed structures were inconsistent with any known cometary formation. She suggested two possibilities: either Atlas exhibited a natural process never before documented, or the comet contained something constructed, hidden beneath its icy exterior. While cautious in her wording, she underscored that the geometric features are inexplicable by current comet science. Now we encounter the most provocative scenario: an artificial object embedded within the comet. While Atlas behaved like a comet, its geometric structures hint at the possibility that a probe, artifact, or package might have been traveling interstellar distances hidden inside the comet's nucleus. Such an object could have survived for millions of years, shielded from radiation and collisions, then activated as the comet approached the Sunday. The concept sounds like science fiction, yet physics allows it. Interstellar objects regularly enter our solar system, Oumuamua in 2017, Comet Borisov in 2019, and others since. Conceivably, an intelligent civilization could exploit these icy travelers as delivery mechanisms. Dr. Avi Loeb, who has previously studied Oumuamua, publicly argued that the Atlas images warrant serious scrutiny. He emphasized that while natural explanations should be explored first, technological artifacts cannot be dismissed outright. Behind the scenes, other astronomers, though cautious about their careers, quietly agreed that Atlas presents a puzzle that defies simple explanation, but there's a major problem. Atlas is gone, fragmented, vaporized, scattered beyond recovery. Any embedded artifact is likely destroyed or irretrievably lost. Hubble captured distant images, but no mission approached the comet for close study. The window to examine this enigmatic object up close has closed, leaving only photographs and questions. So what do these photographs truly tell us? Even if Atlas was mostly a conventional comet, the geometric features on its surface cannot be easily explained. Rectangles, grids, and linear depressions simply do not occur in the natural processes we know. Scientists are now engaged in intense debate over the possibilities. One option is that Atlas simply represents an unusual natural phenomenon. Perhaps it formed under extreme conditions that produced these linear structures, or unknown crystallization or layering processes created apparent geometry. This explanation is appealing because it expands our understanding of cometary science without invoking extraordinary hypotheses. The second, more uncomfortable possibility is that Atlas contains something artificial, possibly a probe or artifact designed to travel across interstellar space. While speculative, it's not physically impossible. Comets provide cold, stable environments capable of preserving objects for millions of years. A probe could remain dormant until the comet approached a star, then collect data or transmit signals before disintegration. Even if we didn't detect any signals, it's plausible that transmissions occurred on frequencies we do not monitor, or that the probe's mission was observational rather than communicative. Dr. Avi Loeb has already published his analysis, stressing that the geometric features demand scrutiny. While natural explanations must be fully explored first, ignoring the possibility of a technological object would be unscientific. Behind the scenes, conservative researchers privately acknowledge the mystery but refrain from making public statements, likely to avoid professional risk. An anonymous astronomer who worked on Hubble's Atlas observations revealed that in March 2020, there was internal debate over whether to release the images. The structures were difficult to interpret, and releasing them without explanation could create confusion and speculation. Then the pandemic hit, delaying everything further. By the time the images were finally released in January 2025, they had been sitting quietly in archives for over 4 years, still without a consensus explanation. Here's the painful reality. We had one chance to examine Atlas closely, and it passed. The comet fragmented into dozens of pieces, scattering its nucleus and any embedded object beyond retrieval. Hubble's images remain, but no spacecraft was sent for direct observation or sampling. Any chance to directly study what might have been a probe or confirm its absence is gone forever. Some may argue that Atlas was nothing more than a comet with unusual surface features. Human brains are wired to detect patterns, even in randomness, and perhaps that's what we're seeing. But after decades of examining comet images, the structures on Atlas remain unlike anything else documented. Multiple features, linear edges, and the large rectangular panel all suggest either an exotic natural process or something entirely different. Over the coming months, scientific papers will analyze Atlas, Simulations will test new theories and consensus will likely emerge. It may conclude something along the lines of probably natural but inconclusive, leaving lingering doubt. For many researchers, the truth is uncomfortable because it challenges assumptions, raises questions about interstellar visitors, and highlights the limits of our observational capabilities. Stay with me, because in the next parts, we'll explore the most detailed analysis of the rectangular panel, the ongoing scientific debate, and why the implications of Atlas's surface features could reshape how we think about interstellar objects. We'll examine both natural and artificial scenarios and consider what this means for future discoveries in our cosmic neighborhood. Let's take a closer look at the most puzzling feature, the rectangular panel near Atlas's equator. In the highest resolution images from March 17, 2020, this structure appears precisely shaped, roughly 400 feet long and 200 feet wide, with apparent internal layering and grid-like markings. On any asteroid, one might consider it a coincidence of fracture patterns. On a comet, though, it defies expectations. Comet nuclei are icy rubble piles, shaped by random collisions, sublimation, and outgassing. Straight lines, right angles, and repeated geometric arrangements simply shouldn't exist. NASA's official explanation, buried in the technical report, claims these features result from thermal stress fractures caused by solar heating as Atlas approached the sunday. While thermal stress can indeed crack ice, the resulting fractures are inherently chaotic, forming jagged, irregular patterns, not neat rectangles or grids. Even conservative scientists admit that the panel's internal layering is inconsistent with surface-only fractures, hinting at something buried beneath the comet's exterior. Dr. Sarah Chen noted that the surface features might indicate either a previously unknown natural process or an artificial object embedded in the comet. Constructed, she said, is the word many scientists use privately. She cautioned against jumping to conclusions, emphasizing that Atlas still behaved like a normal comet in every observable way. It outgassed, developed a coma, formed a tail, and fragmented as expected. The anomaly is strictly surface geometry. This brings us to the central debate in the astronomical community. What are the probabilities that Atlas's features are natural versus artificial? Statistical fluke is one explanation. Perhaps the comet experienced highly unusual stress patterns or crystallization processes that coincidentally formed geometric shapes. The odds, however, strain probability. One rectangle might be coincidence, multiple linear structures, grids, and repeated patterns? That's much harder to dismiss. The second possibility is the discovery of a new natural phenomenon. Could comets from certain regions of the outer solar system form in ways that create layered geometric structures? Could unknown physical processes be at play, such as exotic crystallization or layering mechanisms? This is scientifically exciting because it expands our understanding of comet formation without requiring the extraordinary claim of alien intervention. Then there's the most provocative scenario. Atlas may have carried a technological artifact, not the entire comet, but a small object hidden within its icy nucleus, traveling interstellar distances for millions of years. Conceivably, this object could have been a probe, dormant until the comet approached the sun, gathering information or transmitting signals. Interstellar comets like Oumuamua and Borisov prove that natural interstellar objects reach our solar system using comets as vehicles for long-distance travel is entirely plausible, and the panel could represent part of such a mechanism. Dr. Avi Loeb, who previously studied Oumuamua, has emphasized that Atlas's geometric structures warrant serious investigation. While natural explanations must be exhausted first, Ignoring the possibility of artificial origins is unscientific. Behind closed doors, even conservative astronomers privately acknowledge the unusual features, though none speak publicly for fear of professional repercussions. And yet, Atlas is gone, fragmented, vaporized, and scattered. Any probe, artifact, or object embedded within it is likely destroyed or impossible to retrieve. Hubble images remain our only evidence, a distant fleeting glimpse into a phenomenon we may never study directly. That fleeting opportunity underscores the challenge of studying interstellar visitors. These objects pass through our solar system quickly, often leaving only a trail of debris behind. The Atlas images, particularly the rectangular panel and grid-like formations, remain unlike anything previously documented. Over the coming months and years, papers will attempt to explain them. Simulations will test natural processes. Consensus will emerge, but likely cautious, inconclusive, and leaving room for lingering doubt. These are questions that will shape our understanding of interstellar objects for decades. So, what's the takeaway from Atlas? It was a comet, yes, originating from either the distant outer solar system or interstellar space. It behaved as comets do, outgassing, forming a tail, fragmenting near the sundae, yet its surface features the rectangular panel, linear ridges, and grid patterns don't fit any model we know. They suggest either exotic natural processes we haven't yet understood or something far stranger, potentially technological in origin. NASA's release, after 4.5 years, reflects the limits of their explanation. They've offered cautious, non-committal language, preliminary analysis, and inconsistent with typical morphology. The truth is, the comet passed too quickly, fragments scattered, and any embedded object is likely lost forever. We have photographs, but no samples, no direct study, and no definitive answer. Atlas is both a mystery and a reminder of how little we know about interstellar visitors. Human curiosity thrives on unanswered questions. The astronomical community will continue debating Atlas's features, modeling potential natural processes, and exploring possibilities for technological artifacts. Some may dismiss these as improbable. Others see this as a rare opportunity to expand our understanding of what can enter our solar system. For everyone who looks up at the night sky and wonders what's passing through, Atlas represents the intersection of science, speculation, and the unknown. Ask yourself, were these geometric patterns a coincidence, evidence of new natural processes, or signs of interstellar technology? The debate is ongoing, and we may never know for certain, but the mystery belongs to all of us, the public, the scientific community, and anyone fascinated by the cosmos. These images demand curiosity, skepticism, and careful analysis. They remind us that space is full of surprises, and our assumptions are constantly being challenged. If you're captivated by Atlas, the geometric panel, and the questions it raises, make sure you subscribe to ASTRO MIND and turn on notifications. Share this video with friends who love space, astronomy, and mysteries that challenge what we think we know. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep looking up. The next interstellar visitor might be even more astonishing, and when it arrives, the questions raised by Atlas will guide how we interpret what we see. And before you go, click on the video appearing to your left. What you'll discover there could fundamentally change the way you see something you encounter every single day. Comet Atlas came from the darkness beyond our solar system, brightened, fragmented, and vanished, but it left behind images that challenge everything we thought we knew. Whether it was natural, an unknown process, or something artificial, the evidence sparks wonder. Don't miss what comes next. Stay curious and never stop questioning the cosmos around you.